I was sitting in one of my restaurants, and an elderly gentleman came up to me and he said to me, "Tony, I heard you lost your son." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm really, really sorry." And I said, "Thank you." And he said, "Do you mind if I asked you how he died? Did he have cancer?" I said, "No, he died of an overdose." And he went, "Damn it. See these kids, what they do, and they ruin everyone's life because they're weak and they can't get it done, and they destroy their own lives, and then they destroy the lives of people that love them." Now, I didn't get mad. I didn't yell at the man, because that's what he really believed. Like, that's what we believe. That's the stigma that is so ingrained in people's heads, that that's how they view people struggling with addiction. And I almost felt like it was a sign from my son, or a sign from God, or whatever greater power there is than what's here. And I thought, that's the battle I want to fight. That's the battle. I've never turned down an opportunity to try to get through to some families or children or loved ones and really give them a full scope of my experience. Everyone has their own experience, but mine. And a lot of the mistakes I made during my son Tony's struggle, I try to share that, so hopefully people don't make those same mistakes. Well, when Tony died, when you lose a child, you basically die. It is the deepest, darkest hole, and you can barely see light from it. But then I thought, my son struggled so hard. He wanted to beat this so badly. He had 2 little girls that he adored. And I thought, if I'm going to get up every morning, it's going to be to love my kids and the people that I love in my life, my grandchildren. But I know that if Tony could speak to me, he would say to me, "I lost this battle, Dad. Please do whatever you can to maybe help someone not lose that battle." And then we created #Brown and White. And what it was my son struggled with addiction, yes. But the bigger struggle for him was the stigma attached to addiction. People in recovery, people that are suffering with addiction, they're made to feel like losers and weak and annoyance, and why can't you just stop? Like it's that easy. Like, and I know people said it 100 times, but it's true. No one wakes up and chooses to be an addict. No one wakes up and chooses to be an alcoholic. These things happen. There's something in your life that you're battling that booze or heroin or opioids fills. And it acts like your friend, but it's not. And then it takes you down a road that is so difficult to come back from. People think that people in recovery are weak. They're the strongest individuals you ever meet, because no one understands what it's like, other than someone who's struggling with addiction, to have a fight going on inside your head every second of every minute of every day. The battle never ends. There's no lull. There's no, let me sit back and catch my breath. And then they have to be judged by people that don't understand what they're going through. And I was one of those people that judged. And now I do. I know better. So #Brown and White came to be that we wanted people who had lost a child or a loved one to go on social media, put up their picture, use the #Brown and White, which are 2 of the primary colors of heroin. Use the #Brown and White and let the world know, post their name, that they are a human being, that they lived, they loved, and they lost the battle to addiction, and they struggled. That they're not a statistic, and they're not a number. And I believe that if we can change the stigma, get rid of it, lose that stigma, and change people's minds, that that's another tool of support that those who are struggling with addiction can use to break free of those chains that addiction just wraps you. You know, I struggled with a drug problem when I was younger. I got lucky, I kicked it. My son wasn't so lucky. I have 2 other children who've never dealt with getting high. Why? They were raised the exact same way. They grew up in the same household. Because every single person in life has their own journey to live. And every single person has their own inferiority complexes or fears, wants, needs. And what happens is we don't know how to deal with them. Some deal with them better than others. So they reach for alcohol, they reach for drugs to cope with whatever that problem is that they're not coping with. And my son got sucked into that. And as a parent, you don't know what to do because all you want to do is save your child. But you don't have the power to do that. You don't have the power to take that from them. The power that you do have, the power that you have in everything in life, whether it's addiction, whether it's your children, the only power that we have is never what happens to us, but how we react to what happens to us. So I decided that this is how I would react. I wouldn't run in the corner and die. I wouldn't be angry with the world. I wouldn't curse God because God had nothing to do with my son overdosing. And I just hope that if I can get through to one person, just to think, to plant a bunch of seeds in someone's head, to make them think that they're not a loser and they're not alone, maybe we make a change.